Bhavatu Sahanau Punatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have been studying renunciation for a few days now, and I see that everybody in class is Seema Bindlish. Seema, are you new? Seema? So mostly everybody has been attending for some time, and you have studied renunciation. Let us take a pause today, just a small pause, to ask ourselves this question. What have I learned in my study of renunciation so far? What new thing have I learned? So can you please tell me what is a new thing that you learned in your study of renunciation, which you didn't know before? Anyone?
Renunciation is only for the strongest.
You learned that.
That is
Okay.
the main takeaway for me. If I have something, I can renounce it. If I don't have anything, what to renounce?
All right.
Whether it is money or goodness, any positivity for that matter, I should have enough.
Yeah. Enough, and also give it the value that it deserves.
Mm.
Okay, so what does Deepraj say? It is a state, not a thing to practice. Correct. Kumar, you had raised your
Yeah. I don't know how it lowered. New thing as such, everything was clear, but one new thing which I thought I knew it, but it got revised here, that our country was not, it was quite prosperous. जिसको हमने वो नाम दिया ना, सोने की चिड़िया था, तो लेकिन धीरे धीरे करते करते it has come to like it should be poor, give up everything. And how come it has come? Maybe because of Buddhism or some other religions, I don't know, but it has changed. But we need to again now understand that renunciation is not giving up everything and living a poor life. You can be prosperous and then also you can be a renunciate.
very good.
This thing.
Anyone else learn something new? Arun Sehgal, renunciation is growth. Yes. Correct.
It's learning higher knowledge. It's nothing to do with living or it's just getting to that higher knowledge, higher position. And that is.
Elsie, you are muted.
Since you are concentrating on the higher, you will learn to manage efficiently the lower things which you used to do earlier.
Very good. Correct.
Lower things will get automatically fall off. You need not manage. When you go to the higher, it will automatically fall off, the lower things.
It will fall off means your interest in them will fall off.
Interest will fall off. Yeah.
So when your interest reduces, you become objective towards it.
Right.
Therefore, you become efficient towards it.
Right.
The same job which used to take you 5 hours will start taking you 1 hour because you're just not excited about it.
Right.
You have to cook food, so you would efficiently cook it. End of matter.
Mhm.
Not get all worked up and all that.
Mhm.
And you have
It's
to
not
go
that you're only studying and not doing any karma yoga. It's not regarding that.
Oh,
कर्म
absolutely.
योगा को छोड़ देना renunciate हो गया था. Many people are thinking, leave your grasta, leave everything, go to Himalayas, go to a cave, sit there, or go to an ashram, study something, and that only is a renunciation. Sitting at home, somebody can be renunciate. That is the thing which is correct.
What about others? What have you all got to say? What is the new thing you all learned about renunciation? It's not about distance from something, but overcoming likes and dislikes towards it. Very good, Mamita. Enjoyment of sense objects is not a disqualification for a renunciate. Yes, Omkar. In fact, the renunciate actually enjoys it. He enjoys it more in the sense that his mind is completely available. Everybody else doesn't know how to enjoy because their minds are not available whenever they're doing anything. If you're talking to somebody, you'll pick up your phone. Yeah, but why don't you finish the conversation? No, something or the other. Concentration is not something that people full of desires are able to do. And therefore, though they claim enjoyment, there is very little enjoyment in actual fact. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, I don't know if you remember, but the asuric tendency is described as I will enjoy, I will give. They think they will enjoy, they think they will give. Actually, nothing, neither is happening. I will do this and I will do that. Kalpana Raja, to live a balanced life. Okay. Deepraj is the only true state of freedom and enjoyment in the world. Yes, the moment you're objective towards things, you begin to enjoy them. You begin to enjoy the problems as well. Enjoyment is not restricted to something in particular. You are available for everything, and so you enjoy everything. You're not frightened of anything, you're not running away from anything, you're not running towards anything. you're able to do whatever requires to be done. You neither are interested in doing X action, neither are you interested in not doing X action. Meera, a renunciate has spiritual and material success. Correct, Meera. Because it would be amazing that you are a renunciate, but you're not able to be a success in the world. You're not able to be. There would be something wrong in that. Because it's like saying, I am an adult, but I cannot play a game with a child. It makes no sense. Any adult will play the game better than the child, no? So if you are a renunciate, you should be able to do it. Anything you should be able to do. You would be able to do. It's an amazing state of power, which nobody realizes. It is frustrating because you tell people about it and in their minds it converts to leaving something. That's why Swamiji has begun by saying it does not mean this, it does not mean it does not mean this. And in spite of beginning the chapter like that, even today everybody will talk about renunciation as giving up something. Yes, Omkar, it is value, not quantum. Correct. Kalyan, correct. Give the right value to objects and people, not less, not more. You should be able to know what money can do in your life. You have to know that. Do not expect it to do more and do not expect it to do less. You have to know its exact place. Bharat, anything grand achieved is done only through the platform of renunciation. Correct, Bharat. If you want to do something great in this world, our platform will be renunciation. Bhavna, it is giving something the right value. Correct. So I'm glad you all are all generally on the right path, and nice to hear that everybody is saying what we are studying, because 9 out of 10 people, what we are studying is one thing, what they're saying is another thing. And then they say, but Janki ji, you said. What? I never said any such thing. Rajiv, giving up attachment to sense objects. Okay. It's a state of inner resignation, nothing to do with what you possess. See, Rajiv, this is correct, Arun. Rajiv, this is, which Rajiv is this? Do I know you? I know so many Rajivs. I don't know which Rajiv this is. Rajiv, what is your surname, Rajiv? Must be new because you're not talking to me. I don't know why new people never like to speak to Rajiv Gupta. So you're new, isn't it, Rajiv? I don't think. Okay, so giving up attachment to sense objects, you cannot ever give up attachment. Attachment has to give you up. When you have, okay. So Rajiv, you cannot give up attachment. Neither you nor any human being can do so. Attachment has to give us up. You try giving up attachment, it will be impossible to do. So how is it that the attachment goes away, Rajiv? Yes, so how will that feeling of attachment go away? It goes away by becoming attached to something greater, nobler in life. As you get attached to something greater and nobler, the value which you have for something lower wanes away. For instance, in a very, suppose you get a Rolex watch, then your value for a Titan watch, your own Titan watch, will become less. So somebody asks you for the Titan watch, you'll be able to give away your Titan. But you will not be able to give away your Rolex. So the moment you gain something of higher value, those things of lower value become uninteresting to you. Jaya Narayan, making everything holy, all actions and words too. Yes, everything is holy means everything is dedicated to the higher. Omkar, disinterested interest, dispassionate passion. Correct. The other problem with renunciation also is that people think renunciation is giving up action itself. Kuch nahi kar rahe hain, and you think you're a great renunciator. The concept of renunciation or study of the scriptures has become like a retirement pastime. We have nothing to do, so now you study this. It's not like that. This is an active knowledge. It's going to help in everything we do. That doesn't mean senior citizens should not study it. It means everybody should study it, senior or otherwise. The young should study it, the old should study it, the middle-aged should study it, men should study it, women should study, everybody should study. So everybody has to move from where they are to any higher point. Everybody. And to do that, all of us have to also get together and work and make it so that everybody can do it. You know what I'm talking about, right? All relaxing nowadays. Some more interest has to be shown. I'll tell you a secret, but you don't tell anyone, okay? We shook hands on the land deal.
Congratulations, madam.
Thank you. But it's only shaking hands. We've agreed to everything.
Congratulations, Janki ji.
Thank you. So congratulations to all of us. At least we are moving forward. But the thing is, the legal due diligence is still on. It is all subject to the fact that legal due diligence will not throw up something. So don't go and announce to anybody.
Yeah, when you're moving in the right direction, the whole Prakriti will move to facilitate
Yeah, I hope
the
so.
event, I believe.
Yes, yes, that's what we all believe. Now we are testing our belief. We all believe that find goal, means will follow. Okay, now we are beginning to test the belief. Let us see where our testing takes us. So coming back, when we work for something greater, yes, Sanjay, one more step, one little baby step at a time we take. But when your interest gets associated with the higher, how can you be interested in the lower? Suppose you're all thinking of building the Vedanta University. Will you be concerned what happened in Kyunki Saas Bahuti or some such thing? I don't know what it used to be. Something like, can you be interested? It's impossible, right? It cannot happen. The moment you get higher values, the lower just seems uninteresting because this is so interesting. This takes up all, it creates so much joy in the heart that somebody's not interested in anything. But that is what is renunciation. So a renounced person is more successful. Why? Because he's not interested. He can handle it very easily. He's more joyful because he is enjoying a higher joy than we are enjoying. He's like bubbling with excitement. Normally, you think of a renounced person as sitting like this. Hi, मैं मर गया. Hi, मैं बेचारा. Hi, मेरा क्या होगा? The renunciate is a very powerful person who is like, he strides the world like a colossus. No, it's like, he's full of joy. He participates in life. He can handle anything. He's that kind of a person. It's not like some, I don't know what, we have this black version of renunciate. That's why when you say, okay, let us study renunciation, everybody runs for their life. They say, oh my God, I don't want to study this horrible thing. So now that we all, at least us, have understood the value of it, of renunciation itself, let's understand some more about it. Okay, so who will read the next paragraph?
Auntie, before we go there,
Hanji.
I had a question which is a confusion in mind. We often refer to what Mr. Chandwani just said, that when you're doing something right, the higher powers or the universe, so as to say, comes to help. That sounds more like mysticism to me rather than anything that is driven by the intellect. Uh, so, I mean, in fact, what is this higher power or mysticism that we talk, I mean, higher power or the universe or all that in this context of what we are studying?
Right. You remember we studied the concept of Ishvara?
Yes.
Oh, so that's Ishvara. What page was it? Where was it? Culmination, human composition. Did we study it in human composition? We sort around causal body. Where did we study Ishvara? And Hiranyagarbha, you remember Hiranyagarbha? Page 156 in my book. You people have it? Do you have it, Omkar? In which case you can put it on the screen.
Page 156. Yeah, let me just.
183, the other version.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's chapter 9. Yes.
Yeah, chapter 9, last paragraph really of the chapter. I hope you all have acquired a copy of the book. Please start from there. How are you going to study it if you don't possess the book? So please get a copy of the book. You can get it on Kindle, you can get it on hard copy. This is the one book that contains everything about Vedanta. It should be like compulsory for everybody to have it, I think. Everybody has to have it. Even if you're not studying it, have it.
The name of the book and the writer about is actually not aware how to get it and all.
Okay, you can get
online.
it from, you are in Khar, isn't it? You can get it
Me?
from.
No, I'm in Noida, Delhi, near
Oh,
Delhi.
yeah.
I'm
Noida,
talking Komal.
yes, I know. I can see you.
Yeah.
When your video is on, I can see.
So,
Okay. Noida. Okay.
so from where to order hard copy if I want?
Online.
Online, Amazon and all, you'll get it? Yeah. What is the
You
name?
can get it-
Vedanta Treatise by A. Parthasarthi.
Yeah.
Okay. This book.
Yes.
Okay.
And also in Delhi, you can get it from GK2.
GK2. Okay.
You know
GK2.
Alokji?
Who?
Alokji, you know?
No.
Okay. Fine. But, well, you can get it from GK2 if you go that side. Otherwise, you get it online.
GK2, which place in GK2?
It's 144. Bharat will give you all the details.
Yeah, I'll ask Bharat later. Let's continue.
Okay. So, Omkar, you see this? The concept
Yes.
of the individual, that is Omkar, is Vishwa, Taijasa, and Prajna. Vishwa means the waker, Taijasa means the dreamer, and Prajna means the deep sleeper. It refers to our gross, subtle, and causal bodies. Remember, we studied this? So, this Omkar is waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. That means gross body, subtle body, causal body. That is Omkar. Now, just like there is Omkar, there is Komal, there is MC, there is Bhargavi, there are so many of us, right? Now, all of us in this class, for instance, all of us in this class together, all the fact that we are here is known as Virat. All our bodies are here. Okay, we are in this class. Our thoughts are known as Hiranyagarbha. All put together, the sum total. And our vasanas all put together are called Ishvara. Now, the same thing works at the cosmic level. On this planet today, there are all of us individuals. Means our physical bodies, the gross body, so many. How many is it now? 7, 8 billion people, however many there are at the moment. Right? Then all of us have certain types of thoughts. All these thoughts put together make a certain kind of world. What is the world we live in? 2 wars are going on. Climate change is going on. Relationships are breaking down. Lifestyle ailments are going crazy. We've had a pandemic across the globe. we've also, all of us together, worked together for the pandemic and prevented the extinction of humanity, because had we not done what we did, we probably would have all gone extinct by now. So we have a world which is the composite of everybody's thoughts and everybody's vasanas. So when we talk about everything coming together for those people who work for a higher cause, basically two things happen. One is that as you work for a higher cause, your own equipment start functioning better because of the law of causation. The calmer, the less the selfishness, the calmer the mind. The calmer the mind, the more the intellect functions. Your own equipment start functioning better. It seems miraculous that you actually do something. It seems to you that you do something well beyond your capacities, because now your full potential is coming to the forefront. And when you do this, and some others also do this, and everybody's full potential starts coming to the forefront, people do miraculous things together. I mean, just think, right? Like, I don't know, 3,000 years ago, I don't know, what is it? 3,000 years ago, they put up pyramids. Even if you look at today's spaceships, how does this rocket leave the environment and land on Mars or Moon or wherever it is going? It is because everybody put it together. How does Chandrayaan work? Why is it so inspiring that India has landed on the moon? Why, we met when we were in Bangalore, we met those people who did the lander, and they were telling us about it. Why is all that so inspiring? Because you realize that all these people have put in all their talents towards a common cause. Now, just imagine if everybody in this class puts forth their talents towards the university, whatever. Don't tell me I can't do this and I can't do that. But whatever, everybody does whatever they can. Not what they can't, what they can. We'll have the university up in 2 years. So when all things come together means everybody's thoughts are in the same direction. So the laws start functioning like that, and that is supposed to be Ishwar Ichha. Ishwar Ichha means all of it put together. Suppose now nobody cares about the university, so nobody is bothered, nobody agrees with these values, nobody wants to help at all. The university will take much longer to come. No? So what will eventually happen is not what you want or what I want or what anybody wants, but
what the collective wants.
Ishwaricha. Ishwaricha.
this is what?
Ishwaricha.
Yeah, so what is it? You're asking, what is the rationality? So what is the Ishwaricha then finally?
Total causal bodies.
Everybody's desires put together. Do you and I want a war to be going on anywhere? We don't, but everybody's, yes, correct, what the collective wants. What the collective has a vasana for, desires and actions for.
So Janti, this is in reference to one goal which is, let's say in our context, is the creation of this university. You also mentioned that people who work on this path somehow get taken care of in miraculous ways, so as to say. How would that be explained?
Same thing. Absolutely same thing. It is amazing. You will be taken care of in ways that you cannot even imagine. A simple example, you remember I had that terrible backache. Okay.
Yes.
Then tell me what happened. Then Sheetal called me and said, can I take you to the doctor? You all know Sheetal is the Omkar's better half, right? So now why on earth should Sheetal be concerned? I have a backache. Why is she taking me to a doctor? I can understand my own family takes me or something. Why is she taking? Because she believes that some service she must have obtained, right? Something for a cause that she feels that she wants to do. It's miraculous, right? Somebody somewhere we'll do, and you have seen that. Everyone has seen this in this class. All those who have worked for the cause have seen all sorts of help descend on us from God alone knows where and why and anything.
All bad things also Ishwar Ichha. Like good things are also happening, but bad things are also happening according to collective effort.
Of course,
That is also Ishwar Ichha.
absolutely.
So, how can
Example of that would be when everybody wants to see violence in movies, in episodes, newspapers. So one of the, I wouldn't name him, of course. He said that when you wanted it, now you're getting the two wars. Why are you complaining now? You wanted because you went to action films, you enjoyed the action films. So the collective will or thoughts got together, and you have two wars now. So that was a good example, I thought.
Yes.
you are only responsible for good or bad, whatever is happening.
You and the
Your-
collective, yes.
Yeah.
All together, all of us. Because now, suppose somebody will say, when will the university come? People keep saying, when will it come? When you work for it, it will come. You're sitting at home and saying, when it will come, it will not come. You please work for it. So, whatever the collective desires will actually happen. Now, when you say collective, remember that collective is a collective. In India, 90% of the people must not have cared whether we are slaves or not, whether we are gulam or not, whether we have got freedom or not. 90% won't care. Mahatma Gandhi said, or Tilak said to the British, you better leave. Because they were inspired with it, they made everybody else get inspired. So it's not that you cannot affect the collective. You can affect the collective. It takes one person to affect the collective. So you're not a helpless victim of the collective. You can do something about it. You must want it enough that you actually do something. So good or bad finally comes down to us only. If it was so bad, why didn't you do something about it? Yeah, Momita, I know you're very patiently waiting.
Yeah, so Janki ji, what looks like a miracle is actually the individual aligning with the fact, with the principle of life. And therefore it looks like a miracle, but actually it's like I understand the law of gravity, so I can design a plane. So it
Yes.
looks like a miracle, but actually I just understand something.
Absolutely. Because if it's like it seems miraculous to others. It seems that how is that possible? Like I can't help giving the example of the university because every objection that can possibly be raised towards it has been raised. So like every day I deal with the same objections over and over again. Where is the money coming from? Okay, I don't know where the money is coming from. Where are all the people who have to do something? I don't know anything about how to build a building, and I don't know anything. Where are all these other people coming from? I don't know where they're coming from. How is this going to happen? No idea. When I tell people that, they get terrified and they run for their lives. But we don't need to worry about the whole. What we need to worry about, what do we need right now? What's the first thing we need? We need land. What are the conditions of this land which we need? We need to figure that much out. Never mind the full thing. Let's go step by step. To get that land, what do you need? You need money. So get the money. Acquire land. Then get architect. You go step by step, and your goal will be reached. You don't need to know in the end how is all this going to happen. If I tell people, no, I don't know the answer to that, then they say, oh, Baba, we cannot fund you. You don't know anything. The fact is that step by step, we will make it there if we work. If we work. Always if we work. Because there can be no effect unless there's a cause. Okay, so yes, it seems miraculous, but it is not. We hope that the university will make people who can do much better than than whatever we can even conceive at the moment. They will come up with ideas, they'll do something so great, so noble, that the whole world will benefit from it.
So, Janki, a larger cause getting the support of a lot of people coming together is an understandable idea, but let's say one of the workers suddenly getting a inheritance or winning a lottery, where is the collective thought behind that part?
Omkar, we don't know everything. There is no knowing everything. But we know that these things happen, and we have seen them happen. We have studied them in the books that they happen, and we have actually experienced that they happen. We know they happen. We have, it's like science. You know that something happens, but you may not always know why that happens. It would be great to know why it happens, but you don't always know it. You know the general principle that when we see people who have done good work, suddenly they seem to be taken care of in ways that they had never conceived. And other people say, oh, suppose somebody gets an inheritance. They worked very hard and they got an inheritance out of the blue from somewhere. Then other people look at it and they will say, oh my God, they got an inheritance. Let me also work and see if some inheritance comes to me. Nothing comes to them because they were asking in the first place. Just work for the cause. Close your eyes to selfish things and work for the cause. Just do that much. And then people say, okay, I'll do all that. Then somebody's bound to take advantage of me. When you close your eyes and work for the cause, you will become so strong that nobody can take advantage of you. You will prevent people from taking advantage of other people.
Actually, a contrary view I've heard often is that people on the path are tested so much. I mean, so much pain comes to their lives that probably it's a test of their grit and determination, and even that is an aspect of the spiritual journey. Is they suffer much more than normal people do. So, how does one explain that a sudden inheritance with versus a sudden illness? Both of them happen. So, where is the Ishwar Ichha in either of them? I mean, it's just an event to me. I mean, both of them have happened as would happen to anybody.
Okay, it is, yeah. That also you can take that stance. Basically, when you take that stance, you say, I don't know why it happened. And I also said, I don't know why it happened. So both things, when you say Ishwar Ichha, basically you're saying you don't know why it happened. You don't know the answer to this question.
Gahana karmana gati.
Yeah, Gahana Karmana Gati. Yes, it took me a minute to understand what you're saying. Gahana Karmana Gati. Yes, correct. We don't know. We don't know all the laws of causation. So you're saying it happened. You're basically saying, I don't know why it happened. And if you say Ishwar Ichha, again, same thing.
Yeah, I was only questioning the idea of good things happening, which seemed to me like a cherry picking idea. Just good things happening to people on the path, and they being taken care of miraculously, because the exact opposite also happens to people on the path.
Not really. Most of the pain is what they have themselves pulled on them to themselves. Okay, take Christ for instance. Okay. Now, what does Christ want to do? He wanted to establish a certain philosophy, a certain way of thinking, a certain way of behaving in society. What was what was the way he could do by which he would ensure this? In his mind, it must have been crucifixion, because do not tell me that Christ, being who he is, doesn't know how to escape these journeys. He's the Son of God. That we accept. Okay, he's supposed to be a very powerful person. He's a renunciate. He's from the kingdom of heaven. He's described like that. We are not making these things up. Ask Elsie if you don't believe me. Isn't he described like that, Elsie? I'm not making all this stuff up. Correct, no? Now, how is it possible that this person with these attributes cannot take care of these, few Johnnies? He can resurrect himself from death, but he cannot escape from crucifixion. Does it make any sense? So therefore, you have to admit to yourself that he has accepted that this will happen. He has chosen that this will happen. And he has chosen it because he believes that this is the best way to do what he's trying to do. Because take away crucifixion from Christianity, I doubt whether anybody would have been inspired enough to follow the whole thing. So most of the pain, they take it upon themselves. Nobody's pushing any pain on them. It's not coming on them as from somewhere. They choose to do something, and in the pursuit of whatever they choose, they take it on themselves. And that's called sacrifice. A noble cause. What? What is this line? Bharat, where are you? A lofty cause a victim did demand. What's that line, Bharat?
Yes, I would have said the same thing.
Oh, just look it up. What is the right one so that we are not saying the wrong one? A lofty cause a victim did demand. In forth I leapt upon those sandy plains. You remember Prodiselos? The story goes that when the Armada left for the shores of Troy, you know the Helen of Troy story, right? The Greeks had to go back and get Helen because the Trojans had taken her away. Or actually, she had run away with them, but anyway, they went to get her. And the Delphic oracle had predicted that the first Grecian who lands on Trojan soil will die in the battle. So there was a debate, obviously, who is supposed to land there? They can't send an ordinary soldier because then it seems that they're all a bunch of cowards. A generous cause. Thank you, Momita. A generous cause a victim did demand, and forth I leapt upon the sandy plain, a self-devoted chief by Hector slain. Thank you, Momita. A generous cause a victim did demand. So Prodiselos, who was a prince of one of the armies, he said, forth I leapt upon the sandy plain. Means he jumped off and he landed first. A self-devoted chief. Self-devoted chief means I made myself a victim of this. Nobody pushed him out of the boat. And therefore by Hector slain. Hector, naturally he had to die, right? So he was slain by Hector. So most of the troubles they have, Omkar, they live very happy lives. Okay, but instead of just being happy with what their happy lives, they go and take some nonsense upon their head. Can you imagine Christ? Is he not happy by himself? He went, he lived 7 years in solitude. He understood the truths of life. Now what need has he to come back and get himself crucified? I mean, can you imagine the kind of pain? Like what horrible thing is that? Why would you do that to yourself? And yet he thought he would. A generous cause a victim did demand. So we're not cherry picking. The pain they go through is what they bring upon themselves because of the pursuit of their ideal. If you are choosing to work for self-realization, you will have to do some things and not do some things. And when you don't do those things, your mind will balk. And when you make your mind do some things, your mind will balk. Now Bhavna is studying her subject. And she's a happy girl. She has unnecessarily gone to study something. Now she's gone to study something, she's forced to study it. She took the pain on her head. You can't say, see, Bhavna's having a nice time in college, but she also has to study so hard. Of course she has to. She chose to go there and study. Their joy is their own. And their problems also is what they have chosen. Health comes to them because of the work they do. Okay, Omkar. So we are not cherry
Yes.
picking. We are explaining. The whole thing is just governed by laws. The whole thing is so beautifully governed by laws that sometimes it just all becomes predictable. It's almost predictable, almost because there's always a joker in the pack, but it's largely predictable what's going to happen. All right, so now let us continue.
Chankiji, on this point that Omkar raised this point that we don't know how it happened. The mystery element can be resolved by the fact that there is always a cause to an effect, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, instead of having this element of mystery, we have to say that because I don't see a cause, doesn't mean that there won't be an effect. Correct?
Just because I don't see a cause doesn't mean there isn't a cause.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, correct, of course. If it has happened, there is a cause. Now, all three of us are in agreement because all three of us say we don't know what the cause is. Somebody says it as there has to have been a cause. Somebody says it as divinity shapes our ends. Somebody says it as I don't know why it happened.
No, Janki, sorry, but we don't agree to not knowing the cause. In fact, my objection is to the fact that we are attributing a cause of doing a good work to something magical happening.
Okay, all right, I get you. Okay, so I thought you were asking how is it possible that somebody does some good work somewhere and then he gets an inheritance? So there's no correlation between these two things.
No, in fact, we are saying he's taken care of. And the words we are using is divinity, universe, some law, and all such things. So my objection was that in the context of what we are studying, how does this make sense?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. We know that it happens. We do not know why it happens.
What happens is also a question because good and bad, both things happen. So that was okay. This is food for thought, maybe.
No, the bad things are self-inflicted. Now, suppose you are working for something. You are working for America. Okay? So when you're working for America, you obviously make more money because you're working on an overseas contract. But that also means you have to stay awake all night. It's all part of the deal.
Yes.
But you can see the causal relationships between these things.
Yes.
Okay. Apparently Shahid Bhagat Singh gained weight on jail food before he was hanged by the British. Okay, maybe only he will gain weight on that kind of food. Okay. Shall we continue now? Okay. Who will read?
We've read this, Omkar.
Where were we? Oh yeah, we finished this.
Even paragraph 2, 1 second.
The self within Atman is enveloped.
Yeah, that one.
Paragraph.
You have to read that. Okay. Yes.
We finished the self within, right? We have to start with thus when you live at the lowest level of your personality, isn't it?
No, madam, the earlier paragraph, the self within.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. All right. So who will read? Bharat, come, you read.
The self within Atman is enveloped by concentric layers of matter comprising thoughts and desires. As you move away from your divine center, your ego develops, your thoughts and desires turn grosser, they multiply, and at the furthest point, Your ego is maximized. Your thoughts and desires become grossest, countless. So, self is enveloped by the material layers, and as one moves away from the self, the desires multiply and the personality becomes gross.
Very good. We'll read the next paragraph, so because it's an explanation of this one. We'll read the next paragraph.
Shall I read?
Please.
Thus, when you live at the lowest level of your personality, your thoughts and desires are gross and numerous. But as you acquire spiritual knowledge, you begin to entertain higher and nobler values. You move up to the higher realms of personality. Your thoughts and desires improve in quality and reduce in quantity. Consequently, you renounce the lower. Thus, through daily study and reflection on spiritual literature, you identify with the Supreme Self, the core of your personality. At that stage, your only desire is to realize the self. All other desires vanish. You reach the state of total renunciation. Is the already what we are saying ki if we move to the higher realms, the lowers automatically fall off. We are not interested in that. So the only desire which is left is just concentrating on the Supreme Self and who am I. So other desires, and that is the state where you are totally renounced, means you have realized the self.
Oh no. How can you say you have realized the self?
Like all other desires vanish, you reach the state of total renunciation, means you have realized what is the highest where you need to reach, no?
Where you need to reach. See
Okay.
what you're saying. You have to reach somewhere.
Okay. It not yet reached. Yeah. Okay, fine.
The long journey, Komal. Take it easy. Lots and lots of things to be
Right.
done.
Yes, yes, very true.
Okay, so can you show the next visual, the next illustration there, because that sort of explains it. Here. Now you imagine that there is a circle. Okay, and this is like one pie from that circle. One, like a pie, and then it's cut into pieces. Right? Imagine there's a full circle. Now, at the core of that circle is Atman. Now, closest to Atman is the desire for Atman. That is the closest, no? Then further away, you get more and more and more desire. Then closest to desire for Atman will be a sense of love and service towards everybody. So close. So when you have a sense of desire, all you want to do is serve everybody, love everybody, then your desires are so few. There's hardly any desire. So that's the next lower level. And then as you go lower and lower, you find that the number of desires keep increasing. When your desires come to taking care of your physical body, oh wow, now you have loads of desire. Can you imagine how many desires a person who wants to look after his physical body has? Nowadays, they've started salons. Nowadays means some time ago. I've noticed nowadays the salons are only for nails. Only nails. They don't do it. They won't cut your hair. They won't do anything else. They won't do your face. They will only do your nails. And when they do your nails also, each nail they can do separately, differently, and all that. Can you imagine each thing like that? Every nail is different. And then I don't know, it might be for face also something like that, and something for hair also. How many millions of things are involved, right? What clothes you're going to wear, what style your hair is going to be. I mean, there is just no end to your samsara when you are trying to look after the physical body. You want this also, and you want that also, and your bed has to be in a certain way, and the temperature has to be in a certain way, and and I don't know what all. Can you imagine the desires? And then as your desires get fewer and fewer and fewer, they become more service oriented, more about others. Then they become more, what should I say? It's like more encompassing. And then finally you come to just service for humanity. And at the last stage, you come to desire for the self. Now, when you come like this, you start first, you want to serve your body, then you want to serve your family, then you want to do something for your community. I know one lady, all her life she could think nothing beyond her body, obviously, and her family. Her whole life went like that. Now she has, she has crossed 60 and all. She has started thinking, oh, I should start keeping the garden in my building nicely. So she has taken on not the full garden or anything, just advisory role in the garden to keep it nicely. Very interesting, no? How slowly it moves, slowly it moves. Now she can think of something beyond her house and her family, do something slightly more. Then as she probably gets involved in the building work, she'll probably take on larger roles. Not immediately, it takes some long time because all these things, we stay there and enjoy it for a long, long time. No, nothing moves fast over here. And then you do, oh, garden, I'm looking after garden. Slowly, one man I know, he started looking after the roads, and then he started looking after the whole colony in Delhi. And then he started getting involved slowly in the governmental things at the governmental level. So then it wasn't just his colony, but it started with just the road in front of him. Then it became his colony. Then it became the city of Mumbai, of Delhi. Slowly, slowly grows. Okay, somebody like Modi, probably. And I don't know Modi, please. I do not know the gentleman. I am not making a comment on him. Please do not start off about him. But it is possible from what he says that his vision is country, right? Now he'll go abroad, he'll see all this. Slowly his vision goes to Southeast Asia, then Asia, then he thinks in terms of the world. Then he thinks in terms of others than the humans in this world. When we think of world, we think of humans. Okay, but what about everybody else over here? All other beings over here as well. So slowly, slowly it grows until it reaches the highest pinnacle of perfection, the highest pinnacle of human perfection, which is you only care for reaching the self. That's where we have to be. Because these two things are inversely proportional. The higher your desire, the lower your desires. The higher your desires, the lower your desires. Means the higher the quality of desires, the lower the quantity of desires. And that's what this diagram shows you. The base of that pyramid is very big. And as it subtleizes, it becomes lesser and lesser. Yes, Omkar.
I don't think we have time, but let me try to quickly ask this. This paragraph that we read, it says that as we move away from our divine center, our desires become grosser and countless. So they grow more and more. So the further away we are from the self, the greater are our desires. Self being happiness, does it mean that the more you are away from yourself, the lesser happy you are? That's part number one. But the second one was the formula we said happiness is number of desires fulfilled upon entertain. So if we have the ability to entertain the number of desires if we have the ability to fulfill the desires that we entertain, we are happy. So the ability to fulfill desires is the mark of happiness, not how further one is from the self, which is why we see so many people not having anything to do with spirituality, leading very happy lives.
There are two aspects of this. Number one is it is impossible for a person with a lot of desires to be happy because it is impossible for a lot of desires to be fulfilled. Now take this lady who is going to do her nails. 9 of her nails came out beautiful. One of those nails did not come up to her expectation. Is she going to be happy? It's impossible. What you're saying is impossible. To which you will say, I know many people who are not interested in all of this, but they're very happy because their desires are fulfilled. So, Omkar, this is a trick of nature. You can never know another person's happiness. What you can know is what that person possesses. And you are making an assumption from the fact that he possesses, or the fact that he claims, or the fact that you see him smiling, that he's a happy person. The more the desires, the more difficult it is to be happy. It is not possible. That is why your formula you should remember. It's number of desires fulfilled upon number of desires entertained. When the entertained desire becomes 1 or becomes 0, what does it matter what the numerator is? And if the numerator is some fantastic number and the denominator is also some fantastic number, unfortunately, every time the human mind fulfills a desire, it almost automatically gets another one. So it is an incorrect concept to say that just because his desires are fulfilled, he's happy. It depends on how many are still unfulfilled. And also he has no access to higher levels of joy. Let us say that there is a child who has all the toys in the world and is very, very happy. Let us say that you're an adult who's unhappy with your life. Will you exchange your life with the life of the child? Means, in other words, you also get that many toys and start playing with it. No, it's impossible. You have experienced a better joy. You cannot recede. You now know that joy is no joy. Okay, Mamita. How important is it for a spiritual person to be able to walk alone without comparing themselves to others? It's not whether it's important or not. It is when you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. So it's not important or not important. That is context based. Like you can't go into a funeral in your bridal finery and say, I don't compare to what other people are doing, Okay, what are you doing? You shouldn't be comparing. So it's when you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter. If you think that putting up Vedanta University is the greatest service you can do to humanity, you believe so. There'll be people who don't think so. There'll be people who don't think so. There'll be people who think that maybe it's possible, but it won't be service. Some people think it is service, but it won't be possible. All sorts of permutations and combinations. But that's their rule. How does it matter? If we are comparing ourselves to others, we cannot renounce the lower desires, isn't it? It is, but not because you're comparing, it's because you don't believe in the higher soul. It is not the comparison to the others that count. It's your comprehension of what you're doing that counts.
But I found it useful to do this, not to deliberately avoid comparison.
Okay, then don't. I mean, there's no particular great use in comparing, so why do it? But
yeah,
philosophically, that's not our cause and effect relationship.
In the sense we are all in different contexts, so it's not rational for me to compare myself with what I see. I only see a little bit of anyone else's life.
Absolutely. Oh, you're trying to say this with reference to Omkar. Okay.
Yes.
So